Okay. Hey Skiff,
Hey
welcome to
man.
our little meeting on the internet. And
Yeah.
sounds like from a different decade, right? When you say the internet, it sounds
Yes.
kind of silly.
Well, welcome to the internets.
It's like my mother could say that. Let's go into
Exactly.
the internet and let's see what it is
Yeah, it's
and
like a
what we're going
physical
to find
place.
there. Yeah. Okay, so let's explore the internet together for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to invite you to tell us something about the show that you have been creating and also acting in it. We got
Yeah.
this. Yeah, so the stage is yours. Please
Sure.
let us know how you came up with the idea.
Yeah. Well, so the idea, what you're going to see in the show, and the sort of premise that kind of gets this whole sort of comedic mystery going, is something that actually kind of happened to me in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm American, but I live here in Sweden, and have lived here for maybe 14 years, I guess. And when I first started my Swedish company, I kind of misunderstood the tax system a little bit. I had a really good year followed by a bad year, and I thought I was paying my taxes as I was going. And it wasn't until I was in the middle of the bad year of not making any money that I realized that I owed the Swedish tax authority a bunch of money that I didn't have, because I was living off of the money I had made from the previous year. And so I kind of panicked and started looking for a way to make some quick cash without, breaking the law. I didn't want to do anything. I'm a family man after all.
Mm-hmm.
So I found this list of things that if you found them, you would be an instant millionaire. And one of them was like the original football World Cup, right? The soccer World Cup, which was stolen or lost in Brazil. If you ever found that, you'd be an instant millionaire. Anyway, there were a bunch of weird things on there that were just felt kind of just too far out of my grasp.
Mm-hmm.
And then like number 5 or 6 on the list, up pops this picture of Olof Palme. And, I had read about Olof Palme before. I mean, the way I understood it was that it was kind of like Sweden's version of JFK, and I knew that the case hadn't been solved, but what I didn't know was that there was a 50 million Swedish crown reward for anybody who could solve the murder. That was the part that kind of sort of like red lights and, flashing bells and all kinds of things started going off in my head when I read that, because I immediately thought there must be people out there trying to solve this case, genuinely thinking that there's a 50 million Swedish crown pot of gold at the end of this rainbow. And to me, that was like the idea of sort of trying to explore that obsession was what started to sort of bring the story to life, so to speak, I guess you would say. Yeah.
Okay. So now that you're sitting there, in real life, you didn't solve the case.
No, I didn't.
No, but you solved your problem somehow, I guess.
Well, I did. I made a TV show. I think our budget was probably, I mean, our budget was almost as much as the 50 million Swedish crown reward, which is kind of funny.
Okay.
Thinking that the crime of the century could be worth less than a TV show.
Yeah. So this is based on it's like it's a very biographical background, this TV show. So are you planning to do something else after that, coming out of your life?
Sure. I mean, well, as a writer, I tend to draw quite heavily off of my real life experiences, because I have had a rather sort of roller coaster kind of life. And for me, I think I've experienced a lot of disappointing moments and a lot of moments of like personal loss, people that were close to me who passed away. And And I think when you go through something like that, you know, it can either ruin you or it's an opportunity to sort of kind of tap into that darker sense of humor that kind of helps you to get through those difficult times. So for me, my personal life is always kind of, at least in some ways, like kind of just underneath the surface of the script, whatever it is that I'm writing, whether it has me, I have other projects that don't have me in them as an actor, but they're very much about things that I've been through. So yeah, I've lived a very interesting, full, sort of eclectic life. So it seems like a waste not to use it in from a storytelling perspective.
Yeah. And I can see that you are a very experienced Zoom meter because you look into the camera, right?
Yeah, of course.
Because when I look at you, I have eye contact. Yeah, if I look into the camera.
Well, yeah, I've been doing, I mean, we did all the PR we did for this show because, you know, we've all been dealing with this COVID thing. And so nobody wants to meet in person. So just about every interview I've done related to the show has been one of these Zoom type interviews. So
yeah. So talking to the camera and then you have it, right? And then you feel like somebody is actually looking at you. Yeah, it totally makes sense. Yeah. So it works. I can still learn. I'm not an actor. Okay. So maybe last question, what do you think people should take home from your show? What would you like to, what would you like people to get out of it, except for a good time?
Yeah, I think, you know, for me, you know, the story is as much about, you know, this emotional journey as it is about trying to solve the murder of Olof Palme. I don't know how things are really in Germany, but I know how they are here with regard to, we don't really mix the genres so much in Sweden. You got a lot of the Scandinavian noir stuff, and the comedy tends to be quite slapstick. I don't know how it is throughout the rest of Europe, but these kind of shows are quite common in America. And I think that what I would like to see more of this. I would like to see more interesting stories, you know, told from a comedic perspective that aren't afraid to sort of go after touchy subjects. I think that everything should be on the table with regard to subject matter. The Palme murder was something that's always been a little taboo in Sweden to talk about. I know that the Germans are quite interested in the Palme murder for some reason, always have been. But I think I just want people to walk away from it and see what's possible with regard to a difficult subject matter being fair game for the right type of comedic touch, I think. Because I think for me, comedy and sarcasm is just, it's a survival tool for me. It's, you know, if I can't figure out a way to laugh about, you know, the difficult things in my life, then I just go crazy. So yeah, that's basically what I hope people find in it.
Do you find that pandemic very inspiring in regard of your way of looking at drama or conflicts or catastrophe or personal loss? Do you already process somehow?
Yeah, you know what? I have a lot of mixed feelings about the pandemic, to be honest with you. I do find it inspiring. I have at least one story that I've been working on, which is directly inspired by the pandemic. But and in some ways I find it kind of hopeful, because I think it's a great opportunity for us as a, not to get too deep here, but us as like a species to kind of sort of take a second look at what we're doing and how we're doing it and how we live our lives. That being said, I'm also kind of I share a fair amount of pessimism, because I think the longer this thing goes on, any kind of hope or optimism I have for people kind of trying to change their habits, I think starts to fly out the window because most people just can't wait to get back to normal. Understandably so. But yeah, I definitely find it inspiring. I have a couple of projects that I have in mind that frankly will probably never get made. But you know, but it's fun.
Let's see. There will be a lot of COVID shows in the next years, I think.
I think so too, but I think if you're going to do them, I think it's important to pull the trigger on them sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Because I think eventually people are just going to be like, once they figure out a vaccine for this thing, nobody's going to want to see those shows anymore.
Yeah. It's not like you can't get enough of it. Yeah, Skip, thank you very much for joining me on the internet. And yeah, hope to see you live somewhere in person at some point.
Yeah.
And
I hate that I couldn't be there in person. Was very much looking forward to traveling to what is apparently the marzipan capital of the world. Is that true?
Of the universe. And
of the universe. Nice. Marzipan capital of the universe.
Yeah, totally.
I did not. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Got to be famous for something, I guess.
Yeah. It's all basically. It's also the hometown of Thomas Mann and of course the Nordic Film Days and
yes.
Yeah, another very important Democrat, Willy Brandt, Nobel Prize winners. So Lübeck is well known.
Really good friends with Olof Palme, by the way.
I think yeah.
They were good buddies.
Okay. So Skip, thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks, man.
Bye. Ciao.
See ya.